Hello, welcome to Mustard Sport for the final time this week, and as always we end with Pundits Predict, where we're going to get off the fence to predict those Canaries Premier League fortunes. And for the final time in the studio this week are Sports Desk Peter Raven and Norwich City season ticket holder Chris Jakeman. Love these intros, don't you, gents? I hope you're both well. Right then, so after Chelsea and Arsenal and the challenge of two Champions League hopefuls, Norwich City now host two promoted teams and West Ham at Carrow Road over the coming few weeks. There's the odd tricky away trip sandwiched in between, but we'll ignore those for now. What I'd like to say to you, Pete, is that surely it's when and if Norwich City are still in the bottom three after those three home games is maybe more a question of when we should be worrying.
That is a scenario I don't really want to see happening. Those three teams you mentioned, you want a minimum of 7 from 9 points if possible. But I think a couple of defeats in there and then the knives probably will start to be sharpened, which it's now we've had a tough few games, and you look at the run in those last 4 games, it's now that you want to get a run together against some fairly shocking teams in those three, to be honest. I mean, Palace are pretty much down already, aren't they? So
yes, I mean it's hard not to easily see a handful of teams that are not worse than Norwich this season, including but not exclusively Sunderland and Crystal Palace.
Yeah, I mean Palace, I didn't actually get to watch the game on Monday night
against Fulham.
Where they lost, but Fulham haven't had the greatest season so far, and losing 4-1 at home is not great form. Cardiff, again, like you say, you've alluded to, it's getting to the point of must win really, given the last couple of results, even just to get the confidence back. I don't think a draw is going to be enough. There's enough naysayers around Carrow Road at the moment looking for a reason to call for Houghton's head, and not beating Cardiff is probably one of them.
Yes, it would be quite a big reason for them to get behind that. It's fair to say Norwich, when they've needed to win in the last 2 or 3 years under both managers, have pretty much managed to pull it out, isn't it?
Yeah, and you would think that they would identify the Cardiff home game, the following 2 home games, as those that are pretty much games they're expected to win. The ones against the top teams, it's a bonus if you get anything out of it. I don't know if that's small club thinking or we should just be happy to be in the Premier League, but it's vital that 3 points from Cardiff, that you hate the sayings like 6 pointers and relegation battle already, but they just need to kick on from there.
6 pointers don't exist, Pete, but I get your point.
Not on your graph.
no, true. Malky will obviously get a good reception. I hope it then doesn't continue during the game, because the home fans should really be bothering about who's on the home dugout at that point. But it's tough, isn't it? It's been a difficult week or two for Malky at Cardiff, and you almost wonder if sometimes a manager's better off getting a side up and then actually leaving in the summer and waiting for a job to come along. Yeah,
the whole Cardiff situation is very bizarre. I mean, I've not followed it too closely, but there seems to be someone high up, as they tend to when they come in, these owners, and think they know better than experienced football people who have been Cardiff have been very successful recently, obviously getting promotion, and it seems to have had a negative effect on the morale of the side, if nothing else. Malky, I think, will get a good response from the crowd. He was always a bit of a favourite here, so like you say, clap him as he comes out, and then that's it. Let's concentrate on the team in yellow.
Do you see it the same, Pete?
Yeah, I think for him and Bellamy, they'll both be warm applause at the start, less so for Marshall. Yeah. But yeah,
booze out for him.
Say hello and then pack them on their way.
Quite. Right then, gents, I asked you for your starting 11s. Get your opinions on these. Pete, we've got yours here first. Take us through some of these points then.
As you see, you've got the magical central three that I've talked about earlier. Tete pushed a bit behind Howson and Fair to give them a bit more licence to roam. Whittaker for Russell, Martin for me. I think Russell's been a bit off the last few games. I know the opposition's been top class, but Whittaker's always done well when he's come in, so I think it's time to give him a go. And Redmond instead of Pilkington. Redmond's on fire when he started. I know he picked up an injury, and I guess that's why he's been on the bench, but should be fully fit now and ready to go. And with any luck, Ricky will have been healed from his toe injury in time for the game.
A healed toe, pray for Ricky. It's interesting that you replaced Pilkington with Redmond and not Snodgrass.
Yeah, I know Snodgrass has come for a bit of stick this season, and I guess a lot of that comes from this impressive season last year, and you expect him to hit those heights again. He has been off the last few games, but I don't know, just keep him in a bit of a soft spot for him, I think.
Good stuff, good stuff. Well, you can always turn it on, Snoddy. It'd be nice if he did it soon. Okay then, Chris, let's have a look at your 11 too, shall we? It's not much change, maybe just the one.
Yeah, so I've gone for Pilkington to retain his space and Redmond to come in for Snodgrass. Similar to Peter said, Snodgrass hasn't hit the heights from last year. I mean, you could always, last season, even if he was having a bit of an off day, his set pieces and that would see his place in the team secure, whereas this season, even his set pieces haven't been particularly outstanding. I've gone for Pete's Magical 3 in the middle. First sitting, having two sort of more holding midfielders with Tetty obviously, and first sitting a little bit deeper because I think he likes the rough and tumble and likes to get involved a bit, and Housen pushing forward on a bit of a, well, I suppose away goal streak. Perhaps he can bring that to Carrow Road.
Get one at home would be nice.
And Whittaker for Martin, as Pete, again, copying Pete a little bit here, but he said that Martin's had a bit of a torrid time the last two games against world-class opposition, you could argue, but Whittaker was in instrumental part of the unbeaten run last season, and perhaps Cardiff can be the kickstart of another 10-game unbeaten run and kick on the season.
Yeah, it's interesting with Whittaker. I think he does a good job at Carrow Road, especially in terms of getting forward as well. Let's hope those holding two will bring the other three further forward, shall we? Need a key man and a prediction. You can have a key man on either side and then just a prediction, so whichever you want.
Key man for me will be Redmond if he's starting back in the side, and just his pace is something that a Norwich side has been lacking for years now, and yeah, I just think he'll be the key man. Sure. 3-1 Norwich. 3-1
Norwich, love it. Chris?
I think in that engine room, if he can get on his game, get on the ball, start putting some balls through to the wingers, get them running at the Cardiff defence, we're in with a chance. Score, I'd like to think we could keep a clean sheet. I'm not sure how many goals we'll score, so I think I'll go 1-0.
1-0,
Ricky.
Okay. Ricky, that would be nice. Brilliant stuff, gents. Thank you very much. I'm going to keep my prediction to myself for now. Right, you can join me for live coverage of the game at Carrow Road on Saturday. That's at pinken.com/live. I'll also have a video match report, which will be up a couple of hours after the full-time whistle. That will be at mustardtv.co.uk. After the game, get your 3-word verdicts for us to use on 3 Up Front. You can do that in the usual Twitter ways, which will be on the screen now. Until then, enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll see you on the other side of the weekend. Goodbye.